It says we're live. It's alive. Congratulations. We are live. Okay, we had a week last week. It's tried to kill everyone. Failed. And this week Di is not here. So yeah, that happened. Cool. Can you all hear me? You all hear me? Okay, cool. Sorry.
We are, yes.
We went very quiet there. I was like, oh, have I?
I was just waiting for your cue for the captain's log.
Yes. Captain's log. Bit a bit smelly.
Thanks, Trey. Keeping it classy right at the start of the stream.
Absolutely. And
to follow on in that illustrious spirit, we're now going to execute Ez's character. Well,
that is for you guys to decide. You are. It is basically just gone midnight or about midnight. You're all close to or not far from at least the destination you were getting to, and you've had a rather unfortunate Friday the 13th where Archie seems to have become possessed by an old nemesis, but now seems to be better, having had the mask pulled from his face by Atia, who is now remarkably quiet and will be sort of sitting in the corner, I don't know, playing with toys for the rest of this episode, because Di's not with us. Bless her, she's feeling not feeling too good. I'm not quite sure why or what the details are. Let's hope it's nothing too serious. Or if it is, we hope her suffering is short. No, seriously.
Because everything else about her is.
Yeah, exactly. Indeed. I'm sure she'll be fine. She's just got a bit of the lurgy, or whatever. Yes, Shilling Link is already in Cabal. So, yes, is there anything that you guys want to do? How do you want to continue from this point that you are left in? It is you are in the middle of a graveyard, and
so
combat is over.
Even if you could assume that I was joking, I think if I put it to a vote, the only person who might vote against, other than Ez himself, is Kiki. I have a feeling Coatrack is with me on this, and Di is definitely with me on this.
I was speaking out against harming him.
Yep.
Because Feather on Dot no longer views him as evil.
Yep.
Your virtue signaling notwithstanding, Coatrack, I know you're with me. All right. Anyone else opposed? No? All right, fantastic. Let's make it happen.
So what are you
doing?
Fine,
we won't execute him.
What?
Okay. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna just look for your horses, saddle up, and ride off into the distance? Is all forgiven?
I think we're doing the chicken supply, the chicken logistics quest.
You indeed do have to go and sort out some chicken supplies. Yes.
Yeah, you could call it foul logistics.
Yes, you could.
So my character has no spell slots. Right. And probably the rest of us wouldn't mind asleep either. So shall we try and make that happen? Possibly not in the haunted graveyard. What do you reckon?
I was going to say, I mean, not in the haunted graveyard. Also, I don't think we want to rest around Ez at the moment. Do we?
What did I
Or do people trust him? You just tried to kill all of us.
Archie's just looking at you bewildered. He just wants to know what's going on. Like,
yeah, but
last thing he remembers, we were traveling together, and now you're all dogpiling him and threatening to kill him.
Yeah, but you tried to kill our characters. That's not to be forgotten. Your character has no idea what's going on, but
Easily.
you knew exactly what you were
got to
doing.
separate the player from the character.
I am explicitly separating the player from the character.
He holds it
But
against the player, not
whatever,
the character.
it's fine. If you're not careful, I'll separate one of their heads from their bodies. So,
Oh,
All means that's what you want to do.
Do we know? He's given me permission. Do we know of any settlements nearby that we could go and take a rest at, or is the chicken repository the closest?
Actually, at this particular point in time, you are only about a day's ride from, in fact, possibly less than that, from Hope Springs. So yes, you're nearby. It would, to be honest, now the big evil has been dealt with. The gloom has come off the graveyard significantly. You are in a sheltered area. You've got a stone brick building, and 10 minutes with a hammer and nail could put the door back on, and you've got a building with a door to kip in. As long as you don't mind the spiders and mausoleum.
We could do a short rest, keeping our eyes firmly fixed on Archie.
Okay.
I'm say quote unquote dealt with.
Do we need does a short rest give us any spell slots? Does it give us anything at all?
It would certainly sort Cecilia's situation out significantly. In fact, you'll be pretty much up to full strength, wouldn't you?
I'll be. Yeah, absolutely. I only need half an hour for that.
I think everybody else would need a good bit of kip. But you can. I'll let you post Atia on watch for most of that, and then she can get some kip whilst on the back of someone's saddle whilst they're riding there. I've got a feeling she won't complain too much at this point in time.
Yes, we'll simply designate the dispossessed.
Yes.
I mean, if she gets tired, we could always wrap a blanket around her.
Exactly.
Or a cape or a cloak. Do we have any cloaks?
Let's not go there just yet. I don't. Much as it would be funny for Di to get back next week and go, there you go, Di, your character's a dog. And you and Fluffy are now in a relationship, and no.
I should like to begin removing the armor, particularly that around her rear end.
Sad fate. Right. Okay.
Are we doing long rest then?
I will. If you want to do a long rest here in the graveyard, you're welcome to. I will say now, apart from some scratching around of various animals and the occasional hoot of an owl, you won't hear anything this evening. Anything that was in any way, shape, or form, wolf-like, etc., has been scared off by the extraordinarily loud clanging of gates that happened shortly beforehand. That and then these sounds of extreme violence. Everything's gone.
So what I'm thinking is, if it's a day's journey still, we probably would at some point be making camp.
Yes.
And here we have pre-arranged shelter.
Yes.
So, and you're hinting that the environment is feeling a bit more welcoming. So sure.
Yep.
I don't mind if you guys want to do a long rest here. I'm up for that.
That would probably be beneficial to me.
You're basically in Appalachian hills, sort of countryside. It's fairly pleasant by and large.
May I apply the healing and stuff that comes from that?
Absolutely.
Let's do it then. Are we? Does that restore spell slots completely?
Yes.
And does it restore health completely?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, you can be on. You can be on the death's door, and a good night's rest is all you need.
The reason they're called heroic characters.
Well, then what's Di's excuse?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing that so many people die.
You have a remarkable talent for ruining any potential jokes.
It's amazing that so many people die in the D&D realm when, you just need a rest.
Yeah.
Well, most people don't have a class.
And you know, Wes, you're on thin ice. I only just didn't kill you. Ruin more of my jokes, and I'll change my mind.
Well,
Hey,
I
check.
might understand that he's evil at that point as well.
Exactly.
Have all effects of the curse left, or am I still affected by the curse?
You are no longer affected by the curse. You also do not have the face mask anymore.
That's okay. A bandana will work just fine.
None of us saw where it went, but the players know.
I think Fluffy ate it.
Yeah, it is gone. No one, unless you start rummaging around, you won't find it. But as you know, it is indeed in Die's back. Unless you get to another Halloween or Friday the 13th, I don't really think it's going to be a major issue at this point.
I checked. The next Friday the 13th is October.
It's like October, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So, all right, we could start our own gold mine. No takers.
No. Just no. As no. Right. Okay, so if you put yourselves back up to full health, you're all feeling a lot more dandy about yourselves. Obviously, you're probably not feeling particularly dandy about the fact that Archie just spent a day trying to kill you all. But everyone's generally in good and ruddy health now. And come the morning, it really is a matter of whistling into the air, and you soon find that the horses seem to have miraculously appeared, and you are able to saddle up and begin your ride to Hope Springs.
I hope the ride to Hope Springs isn't eternal.
It is a very pleasant and straightforward ride, and you get there around about dusk time. Just starting to get to the evening, but
Trigger's determined not to let us see the sun this session. There you go. See what I mean? Completely black.
Yep.
Understandable.
Blacker than a Chicago prison.
Any chance I have recreated my dog and owl during the journey?
You know what? Sure.
Yay. One of these days I'll actually use Sparky in a combat.
Thought it was Die that wanted the robot dog.
Yep. Part of the reason why I was happy to let Ez.
So
wow.
Everyone's going to get a pet dog in this campaign except for Die.
Yep, exactly.
It's been almost 3 years since the original Wizards in Space, and you and Die still have the exact same relationship.
It's never going to change.
Well, I hope not.
Right, yes, you've arrived there. It's about dusk. The sun is setting, and you get to the outskirts of the town. This is actually a bit unusual. Not completely unusual. I'm sure you'll have all seen this sort of a setup before, but this is a walled town. It has a wall running all the way around the outside of it. Got a bit of a market on the main road just before the front gates, which is where
Did they just let us in?
No, you are actually at the market just in front of the front gates there, and there are a few townsfolk milling around out there. Would you like to all roll me a perception check, please? Okay. Fantastic. Right. By and large, you notice that all the townsfolk seem to be wearing. They're not drawn this way, but they all seem to be wearing very large hats, sunglasses, and quite a lot of makeup. You just assume it's some sort of fashion in the town, but basically everyone seems to be fairly well made up and fairly well dressed, rather smart. Full, coats, gloves, hats, dresses all the way down to the ankles, and fully made up with sunglasses and large hats. All the ladies have little parasols as well. They all seem very pleasant and very happy to greet people as you guys arrive. They do seem a little shocked that outsiders have been there, however. Uzalu, you will notice something extra, and I will just DM that over to you. Actually, no, I suppose Gara would as well. I'll send you both the same message. In that case.
Wait, what?
They have true sight.
Oh.
When did Gary get her?
I think the word you're looking for there is foreshadowing.
In fact, I would like you to both Archie and Maximus, roll me Arcana if you would, please.
I'm not so good at this one.
Okay. As you will actually. Let me. In fact, I would like, Cope, considering your very high perception roll, to roll me an Arcana check as well, please.
Sure.
Kiki got the same roll. I'm sure you've noticed. Oh wait, that was the hound. Never mind. Did Kiki actually roll?
Kiki rolled.
Oh yeah, she
Yeah.
did. Okay, all right, my mistake.
Right. So the townsfolk are there, and they're generally sort of offering goods and so on in the market outside. As you arrive, and you'll notice one of the townsfolk will nudge a fairly attractive girl and mutter something to her, and she is scurried off as you arrived.
I find it concerning when the townsfolk have health bars.
Yes.
Do I notice that Coat seemed to see something odd about these people, or
I don't think I did see anything odd.
Okay. I'm gonna give the party a look and say I don't think everything's quite as it seems. These people look a bit less soulful than normal.
I'll just give a general. I've got a bad feeling about this, or something similar. Something about these people obviously the wrong way. It's a bit off.
Well, I'm not allowed to unequip my spear anyway, so I guess I'm ready.
Okay. Yeah, true. And
They don't seem outwardly aggressive to us, do they?
no, not at all. In fact, they seem very friendly and are, doing the whole howdy, lovely day, ain't it? Nice day for fishing, etc.
Oh no, they're NPCs.
Yeah.
So how many do we see before us? How many can we see?
The present moment, there's only 3 or 4. I think there's only 3 actually on the screen at the present moment. Although you might be aware of, you'll notice that there does seem to be someone walking along the top of the wall. So you might get the idea that perhaps the wall is actually quite a thick palisade type sort of wall that's going around there. But either way, that someone soon approaches you and goes, "Oh well, welcome to our little town. Is there? We don't often get strangers around here in these parts. Is there something I can help you with?" There will be this gentleman here who he's a butcher. He seems to be sort of selling bits and bobs and so on from his little cart.
I'm not certain whether to declare why we're here, but given how they seem, I think I'll say no. Just a few travellers passing through. We'd like to take availability of an inn if you have one in the town. Are the gates open to travellers?
Certainly. The Baron likes to meet any people here. This is a company town. You understand? So yeah, well, I've sent word with Sandy, and she'll let the proper authorities know that there's visitors here. Only really one business here we got in town. That's chicken. Can I interest you in some chicken? He points at his stall. We got other things as well, beef and pork, but mostly chicken.
Okay, so let's try this. I'll say I have a somewhat sensitive stomach for chicken. Do you mind if me and my friends have a quick look at it before I try?
By all means.
I don't have a very good Arcana skill. My Arcana skill sucks.
Absolutely.
I want one of you to check it.
We got plenty of chicken here for you. Many fine meats. We raise them and butcher them and prepare them for export. That's what this town does.
All right. So, would you guys mind joining me in doing an Arcana roll to determine if there's anything weird about the chicken I've just been offered?
Not at all.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Is this guy a chef or a butcher? Like, is he offering us raw meat? Or
He's offering you raw meat to buy.
Ah. Right, so we need to cook it first,
probably
especially
don't want
when
to
it's
eat
chicken.
that, but
No, indeed not. I do want to know if it's
anyway,
enchanted,
here's your
though.
Arcana, Uzalu.
Yes, just do an Arcana roll, all of us, and see what we can determine. We might buy some, but obviously because it's chicken, we can't eat it now. So we might eat it later, but we'll investigate.
Archie will know.
How much money do I have?
Nothing mystical about this meat.
Okay, and I assume that he can relay that to me.
Yes. Besides the magic, lack of magic, would I think it's high quality, low quality meat? What?
I mean, it looks like chicken. I mean, it's pretty good chicken, I guess. It's not been pumped full of preservatives or anything. It's chicken.
It's not reconstituted pink goo then.
No, it is a good. I mean, still with the some of them still with the feathers on. Literally, just been decapitated and hung upside down. And in fact, if you want them fresh, I'm sure he can help with that. But you notice everything there has been freshly prepared. It's been head cut off. It's been hung. It's been drained of any fluids and blood and so on. And it's all ready to go.
Okay, so what I want to do then is buy enough for enough meat that's ready to be cooked, so not requiring plucking or anything else. Enough for one person for one meal. I just want a sample, basically, that we can carry with us, perhaps investigate or even eat later.
Sure, you can put one fresh plucked chicken in your backpack.
Can I intervene before he buys, just for 1 second?
Sure.
Uzalu, or Maximus, I suppose. If your intent's to try chicken, if they have a tavern, they may already have a chef who can prepare it for us. Just like, what are you planning to do with the chicken? Go into tavern and use their kitchen?
Well, why not get a broader sample and one that's had less processes applied to it as well? Hasn't been cooked yet.
Oh, very well.
This is literally what we're here for, to investigate the chicken.
Yeah, it's your backpack. If you want to put raw meat in it, that's up to you.
No, it's not an either or thing. We can do both. In fact, probably a good idea.
Standing next to you, behind you, nuzzling your backpack and sniffing it.
Can I ask if I can buy some scraps to give to Fluffy, if he has any scraps available?
Yeah, he can sort that out for you. In fact, if you want to give him 1 silver, he'll provide you with steaks for everyone, kind of thing.
Sure. I got to ask about the exchange rate. I have 25 gold pieces listed on my thing. How do I give him 1 silver? Is it World of Warcraft numbers? What, 100, 100, and then unlimited?
It's 10, isn't it? Usually
in D&D, it's 10-10.
Yeah, it's 10.
Okay.
10,
so how much was the chicken? I was after buying like a couple of chicken breasts or something, not a whole chicken, as long as they're in a bag.
Well, once you've got, I mean, it's not Tesco's.
I know, but you like, no matter how you want to do it, I guess not. I guess you could cook the whole thing in one and then tear it apart afterwards. But, all right, well, what I want is just the thing that's the closest to being ready to be eaten. It just needs to be cooked, but that's fine.
Stick a stick through it, stack it, hang it over a fire. It'll be good in an hour, kind of deal.
So, what do I owe for those 2 things?
Just give him one silver, and you can have 2 chickens and a couple of steaks if you like. He'll sort you out with a good selection of meats for you to try.
All right, I don't need too much. I don't want to fill up the backpack, but sure. I've taken 1 silver off my sheet.
Cool.
I'm down from 25 gold to 24 gold and 9 silver.
And you guys have got a lot more than that in various places. But yes, need to do some divvying up at some point, I think. Sure, cool, okay.
Well, we can divvy up as much as we need. I think having it all in the bag of holding is a bit dodgy.
Why? Who has the bag?
Well, Di currently sort of, I think, has got the bag of holding.
No, Cecilia's got the bag of holding,
okay.
But it is all of our resources in one place.
It is.
I'm not exactly, keeping them to myself and stopping others from peering at them. I've been updating the sheet, making sure everyone knows what's in there, but...
I'm not going to stop you from giving me some money to hold.
Okay. Well, maybe they've got a bank in town.
Like.
Who knows? They can maybe do stuff for you there. Exchange some gold bullion into.
I mean, the townsfolk do seem trustworthy.
They all seem.
They've got
very friendly.
They've got very, very trustworthy health bars. I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That might just be Trigg's got experience with this party, and he thought I would be with us.
There's a certain amount of readiness that has been involved, yes, recently.
Well, since I did detect reason to be suspicious of these people, You know, and I am a proper one with nature. Maybe I'll just trust my instincts.
Fair enough.
Well, we have to decide if we're going in to the town. What I want is more samples, not of the meat in this case, but of the people. Okay. I want to see how many of them are. If we go through the, if we are walking through the gates and we see 50 people in front of us and they all give us the same demonic vibe, I would maybe recommend we pull back and regroup and think about what we're doing. Perhaps keep an eye on the local area and see if anyone else in the area, perhaps comers and goers to and from the town, are also demons. Because if everyone is a demon, then they probably kill the humans when they enter. But if some of them are human, then maybe they're hospitable. And I'm saying humans and demons, but I'm saying like my character has a strong sense of unease. He doesn't know necessarily they're demons. I'm using that as a placeholder for whatever he's sensing.
I mean, we
Less
don't.
Than half
we
the
don't.
party is human. We should be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. If that's the case, then it's just a demon village. They're maybe not being honest about it, but they're not killing everyone.
Though.
Sure.
Did the salesman react to Fluffy? Did he like look in Fluffy's direction at any point?
Roll me a perception check on that, actually.
How many of us can do that?
As many that wants to, but I'll tell you now. Archie does notice that the butcher certainly reacted with a glance down towards the backpack being nuzzled by something that is supposedly invisible. I mean, then again, a backpack that just sort of rustles and is moved by a nose that isn't visible. Maybe he just noticed that.
Well, I did ask for scraps. I didn't specify what they were for, but I could say, yeah, I think our dog's hungry. Point towards the dog while he's organizing them and see how he reacts.
Yes, yep. But it takes quite a bit to feed that thing.
Oh yeah, he's a nightmare.
It looks like it. So anyway, Baron should be hearing news. It'll be anytime soon. Who was the Baron you were wanting to see? I suppose you're not here to see Reverend Jefferson, are you?
We're just passing through, but we'll certainly have a word with the locals who want to see us. Have a look around your town if we get time.
Good. Well, make yourself at home. And yeah, you'll find there should be room at the inn. Get yourself in there, and get yourself a room. Make sure
I'm tempted.
You're housed for the night. Wouldn't want to be wandering around the streets at night around here. Vagrancy and all that. Frowned upon.
Sure. Do you find a lot of undesirables coming to your town that you end up having to get rid of?
No, pretty much. Town keeps to itself. As I said, rarely have visitors. Occasionally have business folk come here. Chicken business, you understand?
How does that go, though? Are you doing well with the chickens, or?
Business is pretty sturdy, to be honest.
Can I just refresh my memory on the colonel who is the stand-in for Colonel Sanders? He's not receiving chicken shipments from this town anymore, and we're sent here to investigate why. Is that what we're doing?
His chicken supply has. He has heard that there is a threat to the chicken supply, and he's asked you guys to come here, assess the situation, and make sure that his chicken supply is not interrupted.
Understood. So given that we are on the very periphery of the town here, talking to this guy who we now know that he is a demon and likely the rest of them are because he can see Fluffy. I think that's how it works, right? Given that we're on the periphery, I'm tempted to reveal now that we know just to him and see how he reacts. If he says, "Oh yeah, no, don't worry about that. We welcome outsiders. We've always lived here too." But if he says, "How did you know?" or something like that, then we maybe don't go in. What do you guys think? Do you think we test the waters and see how he reacts if we tell him we know what he is? Because there's a chance it is a peaceful village run by demons, I guess. I'm not sure how they work in this universe.
I mean, it could be fun. And worst case scenario, as you say, there's only 3 enemies right now.
Yeah, so I think that makes more sense than going into the town before we know. Because then we've got the gates between us and the way out. So, all right. I think I will say to the butcher, it's strange. Most folk we run into, they can't see our dog.
No, I expect they can.
There's something special about you, isn't there?
Something special about this whole town. He gives you a
How long?
a wry grin.
How long have you all been living here?
Oh, town's been set up. Let's see, about a year now, maybe a little longer. Baron came here and wanted a fresh start. Came over from Europe and wanted a fresh start and set up the town, bought the whole place, and invited like-minded people, shall we say, to come here and start a new life in the new world. That sounded mighty tempting to a lot of us. So we came.
You've done very well for only a year.
Well, Baron was a wealthy man. I dare say a few of us had a few pennies to collect together over the years.
Is it just your kind here?
Just our kind? Well, what exactly do you mean by that?
Well, shall we say, just the kind of person who'd be able to see our dog.
White.
Oh, they're not demons. They're just German. Easy mistake to make.
Filthy Hessians.
Just the
Italian Roman.
Just decent folk looking to make a new life for themselves, away from the persecution that was happening to our folk in Europe.
Well, you'll understand if I'm a little apprehensive about that.
Mm-hmm.
There is some bad, shall we say, stereotypes. I know it's a new word. I just invented it. But I'm open. I'm open to the possibility. We've been mistreated as well. The moment I woke up in this time, I was killed.
Oh, I know how that feels. So, you seem to have got better.
Well, I got better.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll ask. No, I kind of already asked that. You didn't really want to tell me how many other cuts people are here.
We'll call him Brian if you like. You can refer to him as Brian the Butcher.
Sure.
Bon Brian.
So Brian, why is chicken such a dominant trade in your town? Do you think?
Well, you
must have people that do other things too.
Oh yeah, I mean, we got all kinds of related industries. People need to run shops and inns and various other things, but mainly we've got the chicken farm and a couple of other, as I said, cattle and pigs and so on, and then we've got the facility where we do the butchering and the preparing of the meat and so on, and then we send it out. We've got a few main people we supply here and abouts.
See, this would be weird if it was a normal town, but given it's a company town, that them having one dominant industry kind of makes more sense. But the fact that it's meat, so I guess I'll ask. You ever done any unusual specialty meats? You know, there's hate to say it, but this is a land that still has some savage cannibals in it. You ever sell meat to them?
No, we don't mess with human meat. Those days are gone. Long gone. He gives a wistful look over your shoulder into the distance for a second, and then snaps. No, we don't deal with people that do anything like that.
Do you mind if I ask how long gone?
Long gone. Like I said, new start, new country, new world, new town.
Did you did you guys have a more, shall we say, expansive range of goods that you dealt with back in Europe?
Oh no, let's not go rehashing what we used to do in those days. Like I said, that's a subject that most people around here will find mighty uncomfortable. Best those days are forgotten. You know what it's
well,
like.
I don't mean to offend you, and I appreciate your honesty, but I do hope you understand that makes people like us feel quite apprehensive, especially if most or all of your town have that same history.
I can appreciate that. There's a road going that way if you like. Well, no one's stopping you from coming or going.
Yeah, I understand.
As long as you respect our ways around here, people respect you.
I understand. Thank you for your honesty. I want to deliberate with the others a bit. So, this town's only been here for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know how long the Colonel's been in business, but I assume it's longer than that. So that he probably only got trade with these guys relatively recently. Given that, it's unlikely that in such a small amount of time, this has become a really dominant part of his supply chain. It's possible, that's possible, but I'm thinking it's somewhat unlikely. So the possibility exists. We have to consider that for whatever reason, he sent us here for their benefit for some reason. Bit of a conspiracy theory that, but we have to keep that in mind. So we do need to be careful. How specific was he about the threat, Trig, exactly?
Who, the Colonel?
Yeah.
The Colonel has been made aware that there is a significant threat to his supply of chicken. He's asked you to resolve that.
So we have, okay. Well, what do you guys think? Do you think we risk going into the town of former long pig vendors, but they promise they don't do it anymore? Or do we try something more surreptitious?
Uzalu?
I find this place disagreeable.
Perhaps it was more black pudding than long pig. Just saying.
Oh yeah, no, just cooking the non-meat part of the human remains. That's much better. What did you say, correct?
I just said I find this place disagreeable.
Given that I would have told you everything I'd learned from the guy I just talked to,
yeah.
You probably have every reason to. I do appreciate his honesty. If I had to make the estimation, I'd say he's probably telling the truth about them trying to do things better, because he had no reason to be so honest. But the risk is significant that we'll just go in and they'll try to eat us at some point, and we'll rub someone the wrong way, and they'll just the entire town will descend on us in a hive mind-esque pattern. It's like in Die Hard 3, where the Bruce Willis had the sign on it. We'd be walking around with a sign, and everyone would be prone, Pavlovian disciplined, to react a certain way to outsiders, and they would act like a hive mind, essentially. an emergent hive mind. As soon as we've done bad, the entire like a normal town, you don't really get that risk, but in a town where everyone is a demon, that's a bit more of a risk, especially if it's a company as well.
Trig, has the butcher walked away? Like, are we able to converse without being overheard?
The butcher is yeah, if you don't mind, I'll carry on with my business. He's going to tend his stall. You are standing right next to his stall, though. I mean, if you want to wander,
I did say I was going to go over and deliberate with the group. That was also something I said to him as well. Maybe worded differently, but I did intend for this conversation to be private among the party, so I would have walked away.
Okay.
In which case, if I don't think we're in danger of being overheard, which, by the way, I'm going to add to the fact that I know these guys probably have sharper hearing than most. Once we're out of where I think earshot is,
do you want to put yourself somewhere where you're out of earshot, where you think you're out of earshot?
How about we go off the map?
It'll be off the bottom of the map.
Can we just?
By
Can we just assume that?
Okay, so you come off. You back away and tend to your horses. Tie them up perhaps at a thing. And when there's you think you're out of earshot, you guys can have a little conversation. Yeah, sure.
I bet the townsfolk enjoyed my Die Hard 3 reference.
I'm sure.
Now that we're away from them, Archie explains that they are, as you explained to him, they are vampires, and he has to obviously explain what a vampire is to people here, given that it's not exactly a cultural reference point for anyone in the party.
No,
but he recognised it, I guess, from what he read in the books at Michael's house.
Yes, you roll very high on Arcana. You have encountered the rumors of vampires before, and as a lot of people do when they first encounter the myth of the vampire, you found it quite interesting and did a bit of reading on it, and here before you definitely appears to be a bunch of people that fit that bill. Yes.
So on that, I'd say Archie's understanding of vampires is they don't generally have any animus against demons, so Asya should be fine, and Kiki should be fine.
I'm not a demon.
Yes, but you engage in contract with. So, as I said, they wouldn't really want to start something with demons.
Yeah.
But Coat and Uzalu might have some issues. However, would you say this was in the remit of what Archie would have read, that vampires generally stick to contract? They're not chaotic?
It does depend on the vampire, but these guys, the impression you've gotten from these guys is they certainly seem to be here. They certainly seem to have a boss, if you will. Although he's not going under the name of Count, he's in this particular case there is a Baron that is in charge of the town. And yes, there is almost you would be aware that there is a hierarchy of vampires, and they tend to respect that hierarchy.
So Archie's going to suggest, as long as we're respectful and don't try and upset them. I mean, most of the party's not food for them anyway, but the rest should be fine as long as they behave. But he looks at Maximus and says, "Look, this is your call. How you want us to proceed with this?"
One moment. All right. Well, it's a good question. I think it's better to make a decision either way. So you're saying they're vampires, and you've explained to our character what that means. So they maybe never even dealt in human meat. They just dealt in human blood or something, and maybe just internally. So I wonder if the Colonel ever knew they were vampires. If he did know they were vampires, our job is difficult. If he didn't know they were vampires, then it might be enough to go to him and say, those are vampires. And he would say, well, then maybe I won't do as much business with them. But then he might just say, yeah, but they have chicken. So there's every chance that we still need to put in the work either way.
He just wants to do business. He wants a chicken. He doesn't care who's giving it.
I'm with that. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have any qualms at all about who they are, so long as they give him the prerequisite amount of monthly chicken.
I mean, you got the Colonel was a bit on the dark side, dealing on the dark side of things.
I thought he was more of a neutral actor. I mean, he deals with angels and demons.
He does, yes, but he's definitely not human, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Well, Uzu, I think it's really your call on this, but I'd suggest we go in and we just talk to the Baron if he's coming to see us anyway, and just trying to find out why has production ceased, or what's changed, or what.
Yeah. I think on balance, given what you've told me about them, and at least we know what kind of demon they are, I think we do. I expect what they're doing. Well, they're close enough. I expect what they're doing is sufficing on chicken blood. However, if we, a bunch of probably nicer blood meat sacks enter the town, they might stop sufficing. Oh, then again, if the Baron comes out to us, then that's the best of both worlds. Who it looks like he is right now. I've noticed that. I hate to have noticed this so soon, Trig, but his name is an anagram of Dracula.
yes, his name is an anagram of Dracula. Funny that, isn't it?
Yeah, so he's not a count though, right?
No.
He's just basically a synonym of count.
Yes,
so no worries.
You know what? You're welcome to ask him about that if you like. Or you know. But yes, you've noticed as you during your conversation, that you hear the door, a heavy wooden door, draw back and clank, and out comes 4 more townsfolk.
I've got a picture of what we're seeing. Hold on. This right here is what we're seeing. Give it a second to upload. There we go.
There you go.
I mean, he seems friendly.
He does. You've basically there's four townsfolk, or 4 more people have come out with him, and there in front of you, in the midst of them, is he's got long dark hair. He's a handsome man. He's very, very well dressed, and certainly Cecilia would find him quite alluring. He has what you would call presence. Significant presence. In fact, he is definitely there, and everybody around him. In fact, everyone on this map he's the center of focus, if you will, as he walks out, and rapidly becomes the center of your focus. He and his cohort, I won't say glide, but generally sort of move over towards you. In a very fluid manner, and the
picture I posted, how accurate is that? Do we think?
Picture you posted, where have you posted?
Events too.
It's not far off. It's if he was a bit more Keanu Reeves perhaps, slash who was it? Gary Oldman, actually.
See.
But yes.
So it's Keanu Oldman, the Baron Ardulac of the village.
Indeed, yeah. And
is he breathtaking?
He is captivating for just about everyone there. And friends, we have guests, I see. Guests come to our town. Welcome. How are you? Welcome to our town.
Thank you for the warm welcome. We've noticed some various impressive and special things about your town already.
Good, good. It is a very special town. Very dear to me. You are here to buy chicken, I assume?
Not specifically. Do you? I mean, what other wares does your town provide? I assume that someone in your town made everything else you use day by day.
Well, we order a lot of things in. But our town mainly focuses on chicken. Come in. I wouldn't. Where are my manners? You should come in.
Well, I must say, your baronship, it's gratifying but unusual, in my experience, for a baron and his entourage to leave the city to welcome a band of traveling nobodies.
Flatter me, sir. The city is merely just a chicken farm with a wall around it. Really. My friends who've come to help me work this small town into something greater we're all friends, and rumor gets round fast, and I'd like to greet all newcomers personally. Only one real business here, and that's chicken. Only really one real customer, and that would be the Colonel. Tell me.
I see.
Did he send you over here to check on us?
Martyr done. So, Trig, just quickly, what time is it in the world now?
It
roughly,
is,
like how dark are we talking?
The sun is still up.
Okay.
Like I said, everybody, including the Baron, is wearing a very wide-brimmed hat and sunglasses, and they seem to be wearing makeup, thick, sort of caked on, face whitening or whatever it is, and they're all wearing gloves and coats. They, as you know, they are vampires now, but they seem to have found an interesting way round one of their major nemesis.
Yes.
By
So I'm just thinking.
By daubing on
this is much like Skyrim. What we should be doing here is preventing them from achieving the end of the tyranny of the sun. We should probably come back during the day, make an excuse now, come back tomorrow, late morning, and at least then, if they do fuck around, they will find out when we tip their hats off and rip their sunglasses away. They have a significant disadvantage. They're not going to prefer to come out in the day, but if we're here at night, even if we're inside, we have a big layer of protection gone. I do recommend, like, going in, sure, but staying here overnight, probably not. So probably what we're going to do, because it's night and they're vampires. I assume that was in the dossier of vampire-related information you gave me.
And
so if we're here at night, then they have an advantage. If we're here at day, at least we can go outside, and they are less prone to follow us. And especially if we start knocking their hats off and stuff, they're not gonna enjoy that. And they probably won't follow us far either.
Your assumption is that if we stay in their tavern at night, they will kill all of us.
No, but they have an easier time if they want to, which they might.
Right.
I mean, a disadvantage is always a bad thing.
They're nice and charismatic. They want us to go in, and they are the barons come out to the gate to meet the newcomers. Every indication is that we should not be going in. However, we have a job to do, and at least if we are going in, we should not stay the night, and we should be there during the day only.
Yeah.
So I recommend that we make excuses. We say we plan to return to your town tomorrow. We have business nearby for tonight. We'll probably be back here late morning. Does that work for you? We should very much like to talk to you about the situation with the Colonel.
Nearby? I mean, there's nothing for miles. At least a day's travel, and then there's only that deserted old graveyard and a hot springs that nobody ever goes to. Although the hot springs are very nice, I hear. Nonsense. Hey, come in. You will be guests in my house if you like. I offer you my protection. Nothing will happen
Please.
to you. I give you my word. We have much to discuss.
And the word of a baron is a valuable thing indeed. I shall be very gratified to take advantage of it tomorrow morning. But I would not rest into the specifics of your illustrious work. And ours, though secret, is important. We must come back tomorrow. I'm sorry. Thank you. I'll see you then.
Could I ask something?
Yes?
Trig, Uzalu as a noble, would he understand that turning down a baron's offer like that might not be taken very well?
He might suspect that. Can I also interject something? That each one of you at this point hears a voice in your head of in the voice of Baron Argelac of, please, I offer you my protection. It is not safe for you to make camp outside of this town. There are troubles. I give you my word you will come to no harm whilst you are under my roof. I cannot guarantee that if you are outside. The Colonel sent you for good reason. My town is suffering some difficulty. We will speak in private. That is a voice in your head. That did not come from his voice spoken out loud. That was a message telepathically beamed into each of your heads.
Good. So, aside from all the other powers we can assume they have, they also have telepathy.
Some thoughts. It seems a very good idea to stay in the tavern we have.
After Coat nods, I shall also graciously bow as if accepting his offer.
Okay.
Well, given that he has declared that there is a threat, and most of my unease came from the fact that it was also bloody idyllic, but now that he said that there is a problem, and he said it privately to us, not to his townsfolk, that does explain a little bit more what's going on. Yeah, I mean, especially given that you guys seem to want to. I don't think this is a great idea, but it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like it's a good idea not to. What do you think, Coatrack?
I am finding myself under the impression that we actually probably should take this guy's, because obviously this guy doesn't want us dead since he's doing business with us. That we should probably go with his accommodations.
We'd have to do a fair bit of business before we're worth more than our blood, especially if all they've had is chicken blood.
No, because our business is the business with the Colonel.
And they have just told us that he's their only customer, but is he? Do we know that? Yeah. Well, given that they said that and they asked if we're from him, that's probably fair, and they probably do need us to stay alive as emissary. But then again, what if they're pissed off with him and want to kill us as a show of rejection? So I'm up. Like I wouldn't be.
Watch.
I wouldn't be this careful if not for the fact that it's a walled city, and once we're inside, we probably can't get out again easily, and it's full of fucking vampires.
Look at another way, Uzalu. If he can speak into your brain like this, he probably could, if he wanted to do you harm, could have just charmed you, like mind controlled you.
Yeah, well,
good thing we're not behind inside stone walls where he controls every person at night. I mean, you give him more advantages, you know.
I don't see the issue.
If we had to fight
down
now,
his offer.
I'm not. Here's the thing: being polite to a baron is one thing. Being polite to a vampire baron, does that even count anymore? Like, well, you've offended the town. Okay, well, they're fucking vampires. If we don't care because they're vampires, then we don't care about them being a baron either.
I mean, he's a vampire, so obviously it counts. I'm glad someone caught that.
1, 2, 3, 4 vampires.
One. Two.
Yes.
Uzalu, look, at the end of the day, if your decision is we camp out, yeah, that's fine. I put my hat in. I think we're better off staying in the town than out the town.
Yeah, I don't like it, but given the few things that have just occurred, it does seem like probably, on balance, it's worth giving it a go. I'm just trying to see if there's some other question that we could ask. To sort of ferret out whether he wants to continue doing business with the Colonel.
We could ask that when we're there. Or is there something you want to ask before we go in?
I just want to do any attempt at verifying where the answer he gives might indicate he doesn't really care about it. Something like, so how dependent is your town on the Colonel's business?
The Colonel provides us with a good deal of coin, and we provide him with a good deal of product. He's an important customer, for sure. But come, let me show you. We'll walk around the town where I'll show you to my villa, and if you wish to spend the night out in your tents, I will not stop you. But as I said, you are welcome in my humble home or in the inn. We can make whatever arrangements there are that you require. You are my personal guests, and I will hear if you are troubled in any way. And as he says that, he looks around at the townsfolk who have been, well, oh yes, absolutely, nod, yes, absolutely, sir, yes, whatever we can do for you. As he says that,
Well, the whole thing about it being kind of on his, I guess you could say, honor now. While on one hand he is still a vampire, he is a leader, and a leader's honor actually does kind of matter.
Of course, but only if we care about him and the people that know him.
Oh, I meant it matters to him. What I mean is it matters to him.
Sure.
And thus he has motivation to go through with.
That is true, but what I was thinking is, and it's not really enough for a whole town, but if all they had was chicken blood, and they were siren songing people in, like they are doing right now,
oh yeah,
just to get the occasional bit of human blood as a delicacy, that completely fits this situation.
Oh yeah.
The only thing is that he did say that there's trouble outside, which is not the sort of idyllic framing you would expect if they're trying to siren song you, but it's also a perfect justification to get us in.
Oh yeah, and by the way, why the hell are we working for the Colonel? I never understood that.
Because the Colonel is putting an army together for us, so that or a group of his friends, so that we can go take out Azazel before he gets revived.
Okay, thanks for reminding me of that, because I had no clue why the hell we were doing this job.
Essentially, the Colonel is a really, 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 really powerful creature and doesn't want Azazel raising, and is very, very happy to help you, but is just throwing you a little test to see if you're the right people, much the same way that the angels have done in some respects. But yeah, he's willing to give you a hand. You will get essentially two characters that you met, the Black Dog and Riggs, who will potentially lend a helping hand as a mysterious stranger type sort of character, or potentially more. He has ways of raising interesting amounts of forces. But
okay, so
they won't really be on screen. Trust me, I've made that mistake before. It will just mean the end battle will be more or less difficult, and certain bits of storyline will happen.
Okay, so here's what we do. If I look behind me at the landscape, do I see any sort of like any rise or any bit of woods, anywhere where people could be concealed? Out of sight of the people here.
It's the Appalachian foothills. You are in heavy woodlands all around you.
Right.
This
good.
is a walled town as well. So there's not a huge amount of visibility, to be honest.
All right. So here's the plan. This sort of sorts both things out. What I'm going to say is, I'm going to try to make this as subtle as possible. I'm even happy to roll to see how well I do with this, but I'm going to say essentially. Well, listen, we may be able to. Our friends in the woods back there, they can probably handle what we were going to do. We were planning on doing it together, but I think that'll be all right. You did give Martin the coin, right? I think you did, yeah. Talking to a party member, but not waiting for them to reply. And I'll say, yeah, best he holds on to that. All right, well, they're expecting us back soon, so we best be careful while we're in your town.
Very well, I'm sure your friends, the Baron grins, won't miss you for long. We could send
okay, that sounds really ominous.
A messenger out to them if you like, if you decide to stay. But yes, no problem at all. Come this way. He beckons towards the door.
Well, I have a distinct sense that the deception did not work, but I don't know if my character would. So whatever, I did the best I could. We are being siren songed in. Let's see how it goes.
Oh, I'm sure
you have an interesting definition of siren song.
It's one of the most blatant examples.
Oh yeah, this is definitely fishy, but I don't feel like we have a better option, to be honest. Because if we try to wait around outside, then the villagers might actually just go for us anyway.
Let me just. Why do I keep on doing this? I forgot to set them up at. Yeah.
And we at least have a theoretical diplomatic immunity type thing going on right now.
You do indeed. You are completely under the protection of possibly the oldest vampire in existence, and as you all know, even if your characters don't know, the older the vampire, the stronger they are. So it's unlikely someone's going to try anything for fear of pissing off the Baron / Count / whatever he is. There we go. I is with you in spirit.
The Baron's health is low, or lower than full.
Yes, that's incorrect.
Is that the sunlight?
Not sure why that wasn't. Right, yeah, it is. A couple of the townsfolk follow with him as his kind of entourage will. Oddly, they seem to be different townsfolk than the ones previously, just because, you know. Sure. So he walks you through the town, and he's going, well, as you can see over here, we have the meat processing center. These are some of the houses over here on the left for some of the good people of the town. We have the general store over here on the corner, because the corner is where you keep a general store, I believe. And he just generally sort of walks you through the town, pointing out the various landmarks as you go. And as you get to this sort of square area here, he goes, oh no, over there on the right there is the local tavern and inn. And directly in front of us, there is the town church, and you see a rather stern-looking pilgrim dressed, classically pilgrim-esque dressed gentleman standing out on the porch, waiting to greet you, and he waves with a very stern look on his face, and the Baron turns to you and goes, "This is the Reverend Jefferson." "Evening, Reverend." "Evening, Baron." "New guests in town, I see." He goes, "Yep, people here on business with the Colonel." He goes, "Oh, okay. Well, you folk are welcome in the church anytime. Not staying
I wasn't
long, I hope."
I wasn't expecting a church in this town.
The Baron looks back at you with a slightly wry grin and goes, "There's probably many things in this town that will be of a surprise to you."
Hmm.
And he leads you up to the north. And it's fucking everything. Everyone's getting picked up along the way. And you head basically up north, and it's like, just generally pointing out the landmarks, and you notice that this is for a town that's been here a year. It's surprisingly well built, and it seems to have sprung up out of nowhere. You can only assume that these are very hard-working folk and capable of doing quite a lot of heavy lifting and moving of things at quite a rate. Unless, of course, they had some sort of team of people run in there and quickly build brick houses and with slate roofs. Almost overnight, the whole town seems to have just appeared.
Or with the assistant, the crossroads demon, perhaps.
Potentially. Or maybe vampires can just move really quickly and lift really heavy objects. And they've done it all themselves. Who knows?
Big, are you trying to imply these vampires literally brought their town with them on their backs?
I am not trying to imply anything. I'm saying merely that this town has been built quickly and well.
Well, if we come down in the morning and find that all of the houses have changed positions, then we might have suspicions you're correct, Hez.
Eventually, he walks you along the road to rather a fine-looking house, a mansion, if you will. Something just a bit of a cut above the norm in the house, but in the area, but nonetheless, you feel like you've seen this design before, perhaps. Who knows?
It does look familiar, doesn't it?
Maybe they borrowed the plans from someone. Who knows? It's basically, "Welcome to my humble abode," he says as he ushers you into his house. Good Archie up there as well. I leave the pets in the in the porch, if you will. Trampling dog hair, dog footprints all over the furniture and the carpets. You are under my protection here. Now we can speak.
Does Adia
freely.
count as a pet?
Does who?
Adia, or whatever Di's character is.
Sure. Certainly she is there, but she's still being remarkably quiet. Uncharacteristically quiet for Dai.
Just strange.
Yeah.
Immersion broken.
I know, right? Can't be helped. And the Baron ushers you in. It is getting towards evening. Perhaps you would care to dine with me. Points you off towards the dining
Anything other
room.
than chicken?
Absolutely. Anything you
I suppose my addiction will encourage me.
Ah, yes, of course.
I mean, I can't just ignore that horrible ailment of every now and again wanting some chicken.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I can't offer you the Colonel's chicken, but we can certainly offer you the best, freshest meats, and maybe something else, some nice wine, and basically you will eat and drink well this evening, and
I mean, nutrition's never been an issue for me.
sure, you have berries.
Yes.
They are very good.
A very, very attractive, shall we say, maid is waiting on you, and after she's served the food and she leaves, and the food is laid on the table and you sit down, the Baron looks to you all, raises a glass and goes, "Friends, we have much to discuss."
Indeed, we hear there's been an issue with your supply.
There may be. Trouble is brewing in paradise. The good Reverend Jefferson is, let me start at the beginning. As you have no doubt guessed, this is not a town full of normal, good, hard-working American colonial types. We have also travelled over from Europe, certainly. But my kind are, how should I say, somewhat longer lived than the average human. And we, shall we cut to the chase? We're vampires. And
Well, that's different.
I notice from the completely not shocked look on everyone's face, you had already surmised something along these lines. Yes?
Well,
we've done
chicken is
plenty.
not the only thing you guys produce in unusual and impressive quantities. That sunscreen makeup you're wearing, it must be similar.
Simply lead paint mixed with butter and a few other oils to stop it from setting solid.
Used to white people sucking blood from land.
Sure you
Everyone
are.
just groans.
Poor fellow. My heart bleeds. I know what happens when an indigenous species, an indigenous population becomes subject to an influx of foreign people coming into their land. It usually bodes well for them.
He looks off and a single tear pours down.
You know, that guy wasn't even an Indian.
But my friends and I have made a vow. New world, new ways. We have found that an interesting mixture of cattle blood and chicken blood and pork blood mixed in certain proportions and kept under certain conditions, we are able to survive rather comfortably on that instead of feeding on human blood. And
But
so,
not everyone was happy with that arrangement, were they?
They all thought they were, but some have maintained a taste for the old ways, shall we say. They call themselves traditionalists. I call them unwanted in our town. However, been trying to build support amongst the folks, town, and my informants have told me that at some point in the fairly near future there is a danger that a takeover might take place. Certain elements have been travelling to nearby towns and recruiting new blood, shall we say, to their cause. And somewhere in these hillsides there is an army growing. I was quite keen that you didn't camp out tonight in the hillsides. It would be unlikely that you would be the person tomorrow that you are today, if you follow my meaning.
Perhaps if we can help resolve this for you and get the chicken supply running again, then you'd be interested in helping us with our predicament as well.
Your predicament? I assumed you were merely agents for the Colonel come to help out an old friend in a time of need. Colonel and I go way. Sure you understand.
We are doing a favour for the Colonel in exchange for a favour in return, but we could use all the allies we can get at the moment.
Go on. You have my
You say you have a reasonable military force and an interest in doing better by the land, right?
I don't know about military force. We are vampires. We have strength that is unusual for, well, we have significantly higher strength than the average human. We are good at moving through the night. We are good at various things, but we're not a military. But we could perhaps lend a hand in ways, certainly.
What do you think, guys? I reckon they can help us.
You might be onto something in that the thing I'm thinking here is that if we give the townsfolk and also the ex-townsfolk a valid cause to unite against who have blood, then that sort of captures both of the requirements. If we say, so these guys we're trying to deal with, who whatever they're called, I can't remember what they're called, the is it the electric guys or the guys at Mount Zion? The guys that we're
the guys at Mount Zion.
Electrolyzers.
The electrolyzers. The electrolyzers are still up north, and you haven't seen or heard from them for a while. And they're mainly after Ez's,
Yeah.
Body.
But either way, whoever we're after, whoever we're heading towards here,
yes,
they have blood.
The Illuminati is the people you're heading towards. Yes, at Mount Zion. Yes.
So and we can certainly appeal to the gentleman here about the consequences. It's unlikely that the quarry we hunt will allow you to continue acting as you are should they succeed. They mean to usher in an age that would ruin not only the chicken industry but possibly all others as well. And that is ultimately what we are doing. We are doing this partly for the Colonel, but not solely. And any further assistance that we can render unto you, it would be in your interest and definitely ours. if you would join us for this afterwards.
What do you know of angels?
He fixes you with a very meaningful stare. I know all I want to know about angels.
Same lol. Kind of assholes.
Not a fan, I'm assuming, then.
He looks at you as you mention assholes and goes, "Yes, that is one way of putting it."
How would you feel about there being one more in the world?
One more angel?
One who's, powerful, fallen.
Fallen?
Bent on world destruction.
When you say fallen, do you have a name? Was he a watcher?
We speak of Azazel.
If the Count were capable of going any whiter, he would have done. However, he is quite pale, so you don't really notice that he has actually gone a little bit of a shade paler. But he does fix you with a fairly meaningful look, even deeper, in fact. I know the name.
Even now, forces are mounting at Mount Zion. They have a whole batch of human sacrifices. They have all the gems they need, and they have all the magic they need. They will be summoning him soon if we don't put a stop to it.
Mount Zion. Where do I know that name from? Where do I know it? Someone mentioned it just the other day. Mount Zion. Mount Zion. Oh, refugees. There is a stream of war refugees flooding into Mount Zion as we speak. Thousands.
The blood sacrifice.
Closes his eyes. You mean to raise Azazel?
That is our understanding.
Not a day goes by without me losing some faith in humanity's humanity.
Well, as you can see, there are plenty of humans trying to prevent it as well.
Do they not understand? If they raise Azazel, they will bring about the times of the Rephaim and the Nephilim again. It will be hell on earth. Keep this quiet. Do not tell a single soul in town about this. There are the same forces that I fear would gladly lend a hand against your aims. So, it seems we may have common purpose. I would like you guys to all roll me a persuasion check of some sort. See what you can do.
Trig, I'm not sure if I would know, but did he mean by that against us or against our target?
Against you.
Ah, shit. So the bad vampires would want the age of the Nephilim to come back.
Yes. Evil vampires would definitely want to see fallen angels and a time where humans are used as cattle for them to feed and play with as they will. Yes, definitely.
Have you guys seen?
And
we're
currently doing D&D, by the way.
Streaming at the moment, but yeah.
Wait, have you seen that new horror movie I was talking about?
With greatest respect, Aiden, that's not part of the D&D currently.
Oh, there was a good new vampire movie.
Okay, go on.
Oh yeah, which one?
The Irish one. Let the wrong one in.
Go check it out. Let the wrong one in.
Oh, you gotta. Yeah. Like, original Swedish film. Let the right one in. Excellent. Let the wrong one in. Irish film. Fantastic. I have to be honest though. Like I had a hard time understanding some of the Irish language.
Don't worry. Everybody that isn't Irish does.
the one time you join our D&D when Di isn't here. The Irish.
I know. No, like it's not that. It's like it was. Bill and I watched it together, and he's lived here his whole life, and both of us couldn't. At least I was like, I don't understand.
I went to Scotland and they were talking English, and I couldn't understand what they were saying.
I
will note again the timing on Aiden joining, and then 3 joining almost immediately.
Well, 3 take him up. 3 joined me because I was done with my fucking stream.
Oh,
I figured that was it, given that you and Spoon just joined at the same time.
It's a vampire movie with Anthony Head in it. I mean, seriously, didn't he get enough with Buffy?
Oh, yeah. Well, you think that like he's barely in it. Anthony Stewart Head, I think, is knocked out through about 80% of the movie.
Okay.
It's alright. It's still a great film, but like yeah, Anthony Stewart Head's like knocked out through, I'd say about 80%.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I'm looking at that on IMDb. Sounds fun. Anyway, I hate to be rude. I don't mean to be, but we are in the in the middle of a campaign at the moment.
Yeah.
Streaming, but yeah.
Are you playing? Are you playing the game?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go pop off.
No worries.
Or should I head out to Athens? They won't.
Ugh. Why would you want to go there?
If you do go there, definitely shower afterwards. But also let them know where you've just come from and see how they react.
Oh, here's the thing that like, as I said, is like, if we can get a chance to go to the south of England, we gotta go. We gotta like fucking around. It'll be fun. But if you guys are playing a game, I don't want to like interrupt your game. Centrist Militia.
Right in the middle of it, yes.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, sorry. Have fun. I'll do something else.
You're welcome to listen, of course.
I will listen, but I'll probably actually not and go bother somebody else.
All right.
Fair enough. Nice to speak to you.
I believe she was looking for ventilation, shall we say.
Uh-huh.
She often is when she joins voice. Good conversations, but can sometimes get in the way of other things.
Yeah. No,
so.
So, stopping Nephilim and Refame.
Yes, stopping Nephilim and Refame, and yes, bad vampires will probably enjoy that kind of a world. So you might he's going to urge caution, but I'd like you to roll, if you could, a persuasion check or something for me.
3 of us have.
3 of you have.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. I knew there was something I was working on.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you said? Persuasion, was it?
Yes, please.
All right. There you
go. Fantastic. Nice. Okay, 2 of you have definitely passed. The other 2 were, muttering and shy in the presence of the Baron or something. I'm not sure, but yes, he's okay. I will have a think on how I may be able to help you. But obviously, I need to be in a position to help you.
Of course. And it seems that we do have common purpose, common enemy.
Indeed.
We only have a few days here. If we can resolve your issue, and you can sort things out for us, then we can all head back to the Colonel together and rejoin his forces.
All right, here's my idea, right? We need lenses. Lenses on the castle walls in the hands of all of your people. And if you see them come near, focus the light onto them and burn them alive. It'll cut straight through whatever lead paint concoctions they've got going on. Of course, if they attack at night, you're screwed, but other than that, if you've got walls, any siege is likely to be fairly protracted, so they'll probably be out there during the day if they try to siege the keep. Of course, if they're using a more subversive attack style, then the gates should not be as open as they seemed to be for us. I expect they're not.
You are aware but many of my kind are able to transform into other types of creatures. Yes?
Well, now I am.
The walls will only keep out some, but some can quite comfortably fly over those walls. This is a problem where, how shall we say, need to find out who they are. I suspect the Reverend. Suspect the good Reverend strongly. He is a stern chap and somewhat of a traditionalist. Harks back to the old days. That said, I've known him for 200 years.
I don't mean to interrupt, but did Aiden actually go to bed? Because I told her to go to bed.
I don't know.
Well, you did
Her
interrupt.
coattails aren't here.
No, can't tell you. I think she went to Athens.
She said that she was going to bother someone else, which perhaps you should do. We're in the middle of a D&D 3.
Yeah, I understand. I said sorry.
You do understand. I makes it worse.
I said sorry to interrupt.
And then you interrupted.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm sorry. Okay, so
we don't forgive you.
Right.
Are we like those NPCs in the middle of a quest where they keep sending you to talk to someone else? Oh, she went that way. Yeah. Oh, I heard she went to Athens. Oh, okay, thanks. And moves on. That's all we are.
This is our lot in life.
Yeah.
We have lived out our entire purpose in this quest.
Nice day for fishing, ain't it?
Our essential tags are now gone. We can just be killed whenever. Next dragon attack, we're screwed.
That's right. I no longer have a little gold exclamation mark over my head. I am sad.
I hear Bellathor and White One will buy and sell just about anything.
My goodness, I'm finally cured of this dreaded exclamation mark. Low doorways have been troubling me for my entire life.
Cardboard boxes just make it appear for some reason.
Into the Cloud District.
Do you go to the Cloud District very often? What am I saying? Of course you don't. Own for a farm, etc., etc. Anyway.
Right. Anyway, yes. Give me. I will continue talking. I just don't expect anything to happen on the screen for a moment because I'm grabbing a cup of coffee.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do want to ask a question if that's possible.
Sure.
I just want to ask, do you have any sort of estimate of how many they are?
At this point, I don't know.
But I think I would agree as well that potentially the most dangerous threat is the enemy within the walls.
Yes.
Understood.
The danger is not knowing. The danger is not understanding and knowing who to trust. As I'm sure you understand. Lack of trust in a group creates all manner of trouble. I can't express my fears and hopes for fear of letting the wrong person know and letting them know where my weaknesses and strengths lie.
So, speaking of your strengths, I am curious what strong conviction leads you to stay on this path. Your former brothers outside the town who want to usher in a time that would be more easily suited to their needs. Surely there is some appeal to you and the other townsfolk of such a time, but you're holding back, which I admire, but I want to know where that conviction comes from.
My times and my arguments with God and with mankind are something I have been trying to put behind us. Humans have for too long been treated as cattle to be fed upon by those in power above them. They've become distasteful and, to be honest, occasionally those humans that have been fed upon as cattle by myself and by others. Sometimes they decide they don't want to any longer. Sometimes they come to my house in the middle of the night and burn it and kill all of my friends and my children. And I tire of that cycle.
So, you were ejected from your home in Europe, where you were persecuted by the humans after you had been feeding on them, it sounds like. You came here, and you hold no ill will towards the humans in total, or towards humans in general, even though it's humans that drove you here in the first place. It seems to me more likely that you know that cooperation is more in your interest because you don't want your town being burned again, but you probably still harbor that same resentment. I would understand.
There is no resentment. How can I resent those that rise up against someone who has killed their husbands, wives, and daughters? They are right to resent my kind. They have done many, many distasteful things. Looking at it from their point of view, from the point of view of the cattle. Yes, the cattle have every right to rise up and attack those that have been feeding from them. And when the
it was just saying from the Star Trek position. Also, the Vulcans.
Aiden,
hello.
we're recording and streaming. Would you mind
I know.
it if you want to say something?
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. By all means, please. What do you want to say? We can, this is part of the stream, and you're a disembodied voice that appeared out of nowhere. Go on.
This canon.
Oh, we're talking about Star Trek.
No, we're not talking about Star Trek. We're talking about vampires.
Oh.
Maybe someone should screen share.
Yeah.
So
I don't know Star Trek.
D&D is a type of game where people gather
Oh,
together
I know.
and they... Yes, I know you know. I'm making fun of you. Have you what are you enjoying a beverage this evening, Aiden?
I am, but yeah.
So we are currently recording and streaming a D&D game from this room.
Oh,
and
okay.
so
I'll leave.
As Trig just said, we do appreciate input, but try to keep it to a minimum, especially while we're in the middle of a sentence.
Yeah.
Are you sure she isn't just like leading 3 on a wild goose chase?
That would be very funny. That would. Then you should do that. Oh, she's gone. I'll try to be polite. I believe you were in the middle of a sentence, Trig.
Yes, my train of thought has been somewhat thrown, but yeah, no. Essentially,
what drug hallucinations are we in?
Essentially, the Baron can understand going out of to third person. Essentially, the Baron understands why humans might dislike him, why they might have tortured him, and he's travelled to a new world and gone. You know what? New place, new world, new people. I've changed my name from Count Dracula to Baron Argilac and hope no one notices because that they can't they can't spell. They don't know what an anagram is. They're mere farmers. I'm sure they won't notice. He's allowed his little giggle. But wants to.
I guess I'd want to go on.
Wants to turn over a new leaf and generally see if he can give peace a chance, if you will.
Understand. So my concern with that, Baron, and it's very admirable. I greatly admire your philosophical and moral perspective on this. But my concern is how many of the townsfolk are willing to go along with this sort of moral experiment of yours. Because in my experience, the more difficult an idea is to understand and to live with day to day, and the more negative it is about oneself, the harder it is to keep it alive. What we are dealing with here, potentially, is spies, infiltration, subterfuge, deceit. And the right tool for that job is invigorating your people's own belief in themselves and that what they're doing is good. Because for all we know, half your town already is ready to turn against you. You may have a better sense of that than I do, but it may be that they are not as open to your more positive, more moral way of doing things, and so they might be easy pickings for your enemy who wants to return to a simpler existence.
What do you believe is would drive our issue here to be allied with our mutual enemy? I mean, can we not rally them with us? Would a common cause not pull them together?
Perhaps,
I
we
don't
need
quite
a way.
understand your meaning.
Perhaps we need a way to inspire the townsfolk, possibly some of the abandoneers as well, that not only is your way of doing things better, but that there is a great purpose to achieve. I believe we have an opportunity here, if you're willing to not lie by any means, but to shape the way we tell the truth to the people, to proactively fight against the enemy's deception, and to use the threat that we have informed you about to defeat the threat that you have informed us about. Tell the people that the kind of world that the abandoners want is exactly the kind of world that the catastrophe we are warning about would be, and that none of us would be safe or happy in such a world, and that joining them would mean an end to prosperity.
Those that feed on humans would have much to prosper and gain from Azazel's rising.
In which case, it may be a lost cause trying to persuade the townsfolk.
You offer oil to a fire. What you're suggesting. All I need to do. Let me put this another way. Gives a pause and a thought. He goes, most of those that I brought here, I found alone, hungry, persecuted, chased and hunted. All of them were tired of the old ways. All of them came to me for protection. My wealth, my power, my prestige was able to get them over to this new world and a new beginning. Some I found feeding off rats in alleyways, emaciated after hundreds of years of glory, struggling to survive in this new world. Vampire hunters hunted us to the point of extinction, where once we held huge armies that could tear through the ancient times, tear through cities, countries even, like locusts. Those days are gone. New modern equipment, guns, vehicles, lights that light up the night. Our days are drawing to an end. Our days of dominance, at least. No, we needed to find a new way, and everyone I brought here was willing, in fact, aching for a new start, a better life, a different life. As I said, some are looking for a route back to the old days. Some hungers are difficult to give up. I suspect the majority of their forces are new recruits. Young ones that are new to the hunger, that have not learnt to deal with the passions that we suffer. The older ones, my old friends, I know I can trust. Or at least I thought I knew. Trust them. As I said, I have my suspicions in the Reverend. He may have others. but I suspect it will only be a small handful. Those that are weak, those that may be prone to shall we say. I believe and I have hope that this town will work. That we can live a better life. Setting out rumors of fallen angels will offer those that have a yearning for the olden days a route to it. You may end up swinging more to their cause than shoring up ours. At least that is my fear.
I understand. Thank you for correcting me. I am not as educated on your kind as I would like to be. It sounds to me as if they are following you and your way of doing things, partly because you are powerful already, which is giving them some confidence, I'm sure, but also partly out of fear of humans. And so our ultimate objective, whilst it may be in your interest because of your conviction, may not be in the interest of the people of the town. It may not be wise to focus on that for now. In that case, it may not be a common cause. I am working under the assumption that we don't know how many in the town may have already turned or may already be sympathizing. Perhaps you're right. Perhaps most of them are on board with your way of doing things, but they probably wouldn't be if not for the threat at the root of your conviction, which is that humans are too powerful to live that way. So we need to get a lay of the land, I suppose, understand the people that we're dealing with in the town. You, I take it, have us here to investigate more subtly than you can yourself.
Yes. A new set of eyes and ears. You may not have eyes as sharp and ears as sharp as mine, but they are new and untainted, shall we say. I can't ask my friend Bill over there to go and look into this, for fear that Bill may be one of those that is working against me. I am fairly certain, as you are new to this town, you have nothing for or against me and are on neither side, so to speak. So I offer you this opportunity to assist me, in that I am trying to do good in this town, in this world. I am trying to put an end to an old evil, and to bring about an age of coexistence between two adversaries. It may not work in the long run, but at least deserves a chance.
I would certainly put more stock in that than the, dare I say, savage alternative that the people that abandon your town are pursuing.
It does occur to me that those that wish to revert to the old ways have a hunger for human blood, and wish to recruit for their side by turning individuals into vampires.
You wish us to be bait.
You are humans, and as a result will pique their hunger and their interest somewhat. Yes, as my feathered friend over there puts it so bluntly, bait is a way of putting it. You wandering around the town may pique the interest of just those that I wish to identify. Of course, it is a town of vampires, and you probably will find you are of interest to all of them. But there will be some that resist, and some that find it difficult.
So, one part private investigator, one part blood bag.
You rather well, yes. Try not to get bitten. And if you do and wish to resist things, there will always be a home welcome for you here. But yes, if you can find anything out, find some evidence, then I can perhaps deal with that problem. Or we go to where they sleep during the day and rip open their coffins, stick a stake through their heart, and cut off their head. That is the human way, after all. And then we can burn down the cave, or burn the caves where they rest, or houses where they rest. A very effective method of dealing with my kind. Sadly.
As indeed, their activities are a very effective method of dealing with my kind.
Yes.
I am glad that you are the exception who are civilized. But with humans, I find it the exception that we are so barbaric as the ones who hunted you.
People fear those who are in power over them.
That's why we're here.
Right.
So, with greatest respect, of course, I think I understand the objective. We have a few questions. How is how do I put this? Crime in the town. How often do good townsfolk have recidivistic incidents? How often do they seek blood? Do you ever get human visitors in order to give them the temptation?
As you know, we are somewhat out of the way. We are, as far as the outside world is concerned, a company town. There are many such company towns all over this new world, new country, colony, call it what you will. Who knows, during these times it could be either or. And company towns being what they are, few come in, few go out, apart from those that are trading. The Colonel sends his wagons over here, we load them up with various meats that we have drained and made ready for human consumption.
So
yes, a little chicken, yes.
So the self-restraint of your good people has not been regularly tested with opportunity. They've been isolated from humans. And now that they're around humans, if there's, say, 1,000 of them here, or 100 even, the chances of one deciding, even if they're not traitors, to try to take a bite seems quite high.
There is that potential. There was, of course, the incident at the hot spring. into the distant for a second. There was a nice summer camp not far from here. They had a small business. People travelled there for rest and respite, and unfortunately that has been driven out of business because of activities that happened during the setup of this town. Those that were responsible were dealt with. We staked them out with no makeup and no protective equipment, and let the sun do what it will with them. And I and the rest of the townsfolk stood and watched it happen. A good lesson for the rest of us. Take no pleasure in action. Sometimes harsh lessons need to be learned. Since then we've had no further problems. Everyone is aware of the cost and penalty of recidivism, as you eloquently. And if anyone in this town does attempt to fall back into their old ways, This is how we will deal with them. The light of
Understood.
the sun purges out the unclean. So.
It sounds like you've done about all you can to maintain that kind of justice. I appreciate it. For our sake, we'll still have to be very careful.
Quite.
You may have guessed, Baron, that my, I hope you'll forgive me, pretense of coming back tomorrow was in the interest of not being out at night.
Indeed.
And doing our business during the day.
Indeed, and I was fairly aware you had recognised who we were by that. It was obviously important. Weren't out at night, or you would have been an easy snack.
Well, it was only by luck and the expertise of one or two of my friends that we were able to determine it. I don't think you are blindingly obvious to passers-by, if you're concerned. So, if there's any way that we can, as originally intended, do our business during the day when we have a small advantage rather than at night, that would be preferable. I don't know if your people sleep during the day, which might make things a bit more difficult.
We always have people out during the day, putting on a front of normality for the town. It is more lively during the darker hours, certainly, and a lot of our workers tend to prefer that period of time to work in. But the animals need tending to, and as I said, a front needs put on just in case some traveller should wander past. So yes, you are, after all, human. It is expected that you would be walking about during the day. I think you are wise. You will find folk out and about during the day, putting on a show of it.
Well, given what I said before about the probability that one person will act out, it probably is in our interest then to do our work during the day. However, time may be a concern as well. I am aware of that. I don't mean to waste it. I'm in our investigations. All information will help, of course. So I'm wondering, is there any sign or symbol, any words, any thoughts or indications, solid ones, that would lead us to believe that we found a remnant of the outsiders? Do they have a symbol, an expression, a saying?
Not as far as I'm aware. If you find one, let me know. As I said, I've heard rumours that there are mutterings. The Reverend is someone to start with. And more than that, I can't really help you with at this point.
We may indeed start there with the Reverend, but consider the possibility that, from his perspective, humans enter the town, talk with you for a while, and then ask him some incisive questions all of a sudden. If he is working against you, he will know that you know. If we go to him straight away, we will have to be subtle.
Oh, quite. Subtlety is an absolute paramount. If you start running around going, we're looking for people that are traitors to the Baron, would you be those sorts of people? I'm fairly certain that you will probably find that everyone would be extremely shocked that such a thing were even possible, and would immediately deny and claim that they were extremely loyal to me. No, subtlety is definitely the way forward.
Indeed. So, about the outsiders, do you know any of their people? Do you know, for example, if they have a charismatic, intelligent leader?
Yeah. A charismatic and as I said, the only person I can say for certain that I have strong suspicions with. You know what? Now you mention it. There was a young man came to our town about 9 months ago. Helped us set up the factories and facilities. Aimed to be an expert in rearing cattle. His name is Shane. He's young, he's ambitious, and there was an incident. He was turned. Found out, became somewhat upset with the situation, and it was decided that he should be turned into one of us as a way of ensuring that he didn't run off to the outside world and bring back the humans with the torches and the burning and ruin the whole damned thing. Shane is he's young, he's new, he's a part of the new world, and he has comings and goings. Travels to the nearby towns and so on for various reasons. You may want to talk to him. As far as I know, he's a good man and helping with various aspects around the facilities. But now you mention things, Shane. Perhaps someone to watch for. Anyhow, I'm sure you'll run into him the next coming days. May even be able to show you around the facilities. He deals with the more technical side of things, the draining and the mixing and the processing. Yes, Shane is a good idea.
And does this Shane have a second name?
Damn you. No, not at this point in time.
I was either expecting a pun,
you know what? No.
Or for you not to have an idea.
No.
Either way, it was worth asking.
We'll just call him Shane Young at this point, shall we?
I was thinking Mr. Alrape. But perhaps not.
No.
All right. I'm sure it's not just us, Chig, but I do appreciate that we both have this tradition of putting rude pun names in our campaigns.
I know. You only briefly you heard Sandy. Did you hear Sandy's name? Sandy was the girl that ran off. You'll meet her soon. Sandy's an interesting one.
Sandy's nuts.
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, no, you will meet her probably next week at this point in time.
All right. Did anyone else have any questions for the Baron? Remember that we're going to be doing investigation work in an unfamiliar and possibly hostile environment, so this is difficult stuff.
I
think you've got it, Uzalu.
Yeah, you're pretty thorough.
I believe in you.
Oh God, we're all fucking doomed. Right. I nothing else comes to mind. So it's about to be night now. So what is the most polite, waiting until after we finished eating, what is the most polite way to ask the Baron if he has rooms for us? I wonder.
Oh, he's already offered.
Okay.
Rooms in here. He will happily put you up in his house. In fact, he's probably going to be happier that you do that rather than run off to the inn and expose yourself to the general folk.
Indeed. So I think it's probably an easy question, but is it likely that the townsfolk will just automatically know we're not vampires?
Yeah.
Just from looking at us.
Yeah, it's not a big enough town for there to be strangers here.
I mean, that part's true, yes. But I mean, aside from that, do they have a sort of sixth sense for knowing that we're not vampires?
Yes, vampires are usually able to sniff out a human pretty much the moment they see one.
I thought so.
Yeah.
I just figured if that wasn't the case, there might have been some utility in disguising ourselves. But yeah, I figured that was the case.
They can hear the heart beating and the blood coursing around your veins, and that brings out the hunger in them. Come on, it's vampire stuff. Yes, of course they know. They will know immediately.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Vampires do differ a bit between universes.
Yeah.
Just wanted to figure out
does
the
that mean
variation.
Does that mean that Archie is somewhat invisible to them?
Not invisible, but you know what? They are not interested in necking with Archie. I imagine they would be worried that it would break their teeth for a start, and you would offer them no nutrition whatsoever.
Ez, my dude, this means you're useful.
Yeah.
Or completely useless.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you just tried to kill us all, and now you can make amends by doing everything we say.
That makes sense.
Yes, Archie is basically invulnerable to their feeding desires, shall we say?
So, okay, so if we've been given rooms, I want to be careful, and it's probably the kind of thing that you wouldn't screw us over on. So maybe it's a waste of time, but still. I'm not going to ask Archie to stand outside all night and watch over the rooms, but I am going to insist that he keeps at least one of his constructs outside and observing the area, just in case there's a chance of someone trying to sneak in.
Yeah, I was going to say, Archie's back to his old ways and no longer needs to sleep. So yeah, he can stand there like a big bronze golem outside the bedrooms if you like.
Fantastic. Trig, at some point you've got to put some time travel in here, specifically so that we can say, to save the day, we've got to send you back 1,000 years. Just wait. We'll catch you in 1,000 years.
Oh, God.
For us, it'll be mere seconds. But since you don't get bored...
I mean, he's not Bender.
I was going to say, if that's a reference to Marvin...
it's a reference to many things. I think Data did that once.
Data did it once?
Data did it as well.
Yeah. Because Marvin ended up getting sent basically back to the beginning of the universe. And yeah, I was going to say, and is then collected at the restaurant at the end of the universe, having lived through its entire existence. Only to
No wonder he's so glum.
I know, right? Poor bastard. And they never did fix those diodes all down my left-hand side. Ooh. Poor Marvin. Yes. So, yep, Ez could probably quite happily stand guard. But as I said, you're in the Baron's house. You are, I would say, about as safe as you're going to be for the next, 10 miles in every single direction. At least. If not more, in that one place. Because he would know. But if you would like to retire to your rooms, you can do. Do your ablutions, shave, etc. before bed. Don't want to nick yourself shaving. No.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, just ignore the fact that we just went through a fight where some of us were knocked down to 0 hit points. There's no blood on us, not a single injury.
Nope.
We slept, you see.
Yes.
Yep.
We slept in a dusty old graveyard. It's fine.
Yeah. Makes sense to me.
Indeed.
All right.
Oswald.
Shall we proceed to the boudoir? Of course, not rushing at the appropriate time, but as long as there's nothing else before that happens.
Is there any other business you would like to discuss with the Baron?
By all means, go ahead. I'll be right back.
Cool.
I mean, I didn't have anything
Fair enough.
to talk to him about. I'm a bit
Do
suspicious of
vampires
him,
have
but that's
souls?
not a reason to talk to him.
Yes, that's reasonable. Sorry, Ez, what were you saying?
All right. Do vampires have souls?
Do vampires have souls?
I would assume so.
Yes, sort of. They're a bit sort of fallen at this point. They're definitely hellbound, if that's what you mean.
So they might be interested in making a deal with a demon.
Really, it's kind of a shame that Dai could make of this one in particular.
Yeah.
I was thinking more of Kiki.
What did you have in mind with regards? I mean,
Kiki's not a demon. She's just Asian.
I'm done
Yes,
with
but
my demon deals now. I'm fine.
Oh, you don't want any more?
I've completed my demon deal, and I've made another that I'm still good on. So.
All right.
But in answer to your question, yes, vampires have souls. They are damned souls. But yes, they have significantly increased longevity to humans. So going around going, oh, I can rustle up a crossroads demon and offer you a longer life, not really going to get you very much. Wealth, well, they can stick 10p in the bank and go to sleep for 100 years. Wait for interest to have reduced it to 0. Not interest, that's inflation that does that. Good job we don't have that. Oh no.
No, Drake, I've told you about this before. I'll say it again. Stop putting your money in bank to put them in frying pans instead. Frying pans only mature in value.
AR 500 frying pans. What we need.
You saying, given we have all gone to take a rest and gotten ourselves in reasonably good graces for now, there shouldn't be too much of an issue. It's a good point to make a stop and come back with Dai.
You want to do that? That's not a bad idea.
It's also 11:30.
Is 11:30?
I think what we've done so far this session is stuff that we didn't strictly need a full party for. Maybe the beginning of this investigation would be better to have it, yeah. Especially a party member who has Dai's unique abilities.
Yes.
Loud and Irish.
Of course.
Okay, well, I will. That not work. Oh, fuck. In that case, you will have all adjourned to the bedrooms. Is that working for you? Can you see?
Yes.
Right. Groovy. That's everyone is there, isn't there? Not missing anybody? Yeah. Great. Okay. We will, in fact... Sparky and Meady's someone on there as well. Roll 20. Bloody irritating. You're gonna have meaties in there. Right, so that is the general setup that you will find yourself in the morning. When we restart the campaign, if we'll leave it here at this point, and we can throw Di the link so that she can watch and catch up, or we can just briefly tell her that Vampire Town.
Yeah, pretty much.
Find the bad vampires, tell the good vampire, and try not to get into a gigantic fucking fight with them, because vampires are really fucking scary. And we'll wrap it up at this particular point.
Roger that.
So yes, hopefully if we can clear this area next week, a success on the mission, sorting out the supply and getting back to the colonel and going, yay, everything's fucking good. I will give you a level up at that point, and it will then be a march straight to the Mount Zion, which will be final end boss type scenario.
Ooh.
I know, right? And it's really I'm gonna roll a dice as to which end game scenario you get, mainly because I actually rolled up Azazel as a character, and it would be interesting to have him in the game, though it would be horrifying as well, and oh my fucking god. I don't know if the characters are actually ready for it, but if he has been awakened, the scenario will be very different to if he hasn't. But either way, it should be fun because I've actually put some.
We can always call in friends.
You at this point you will have. There's the potential for Jock to be there. I haven't made up my mind on that one yet. Depends on how well you do here, essentially, and how pleased the colonel is. You'll certainly have Riggs and the Black Dog on successful completion. You also potentially have a couple of vampires as well, which could you're definitely ticking the right boxes for being able to tip the balance on this one. I don't think you're going to get an opportunity to recruit the electrolyzers at this point anymore.
We've kind of purged a lot of them.
Yeah.
I tried to tell you to be their Jesus figure. You didn't go when you wouldn't go for it.
Yeah, you were opposed to
You
that.
didn't get the opportunity.
What? Yeah.
No. The only time we possibly had the opportunity, we decided to grow a giant forest around them and murder them all.
Yes. But
Oh, what's this?
That's because you declined working with them.
Look, there is another avenue we can do, which is Archie still has the magic angel eyes, so we could send a message to the angel and say, "Look, the demons are coming to fight this thing. Where are you?"
Oh, yeah. As I said, they're in there as well. Again, it's going to be an awful lot of and this has happened over here off screen, but it's going to make a difference on how many bad guys and their strength you face. But yeah, right. Anyway, let's end the stream at this point before I give too much away. But
That was good.
I think that was a fun little one. It's a pity it couldn't have been more, but without Di, I don't really want to dive into the next day. So yeah, cool. So we'll end the stream. Thank you for watching our viewers. Oh, we have two. Is one of those you, Kiki?
Me?
It's possible the other one is me.
Great. We usually get we usually get 30 or 40 views a week on these, and sometimes more. So some people are actually enjoying them. And that's not just me logging in with different computers, bumping up my own views.
If you are interested in getting more views on them, I think I said this before, but I know it. A long stream is not going to bring in a lot of new viewers. Making shorter excerpts would be a good idea.
Definitely.
I mean, it's really easy. We just explained that we featured the Aiden Paladin.
And she was the drunk as well.
She was the drunk. Right. Yes.
We also served as a mid-quest NPCs.
Yes.
For that other person.
So tore the shit out of Three's asshole as per usual.
Yep.
It's just in the last few months, I have never seen Aiden join voicing Cabal without Three joining within about 10 minutes.
Something.
Have you seen 3 of 12?